Hey guys, Doug Davis here from This Moment Weddings, and for a very long time I've gone back and forth with the idea of going behind the scenes on edits and explaining certain things that happen at weddings. I thought today would be a perfect day to talk over Kelsey and Frank's wedding video so that you guys can get kind of an understanding of how I do things, and so that you guys can get a feel for my approach and see my passion, and also hear the backstory of the video. I think that that'd be very cool, so let's jump right on into it. So the first thing that I want to talk about in regards to this film is where it was shot. It was captured in Turlock, California, which is Northern California, if you don't know where it's at. And it kind of had a vibe of where the bride's family is from, right? So they're Portuguese, and they have this whole area with like a private lake where it's like a handmade lake. There's bridges, and it's just beautiful everywhere. So I knew when I saw images of it, I was like, I'm going to be able to capture this here, that there, and I had a game plan. Well, when I first got to the location, I looked up into the sky and I was like, man, it's gonna rain. It's gonna rain, and it's gonna ruin my opportunity to get certain things. And I knew the bride was kind of at the point of getting into her dress, and there were some things that I wanted to get with her beforehand, but I took a chance and I threw my drone up into the sky and captured what I could. Well, I only flew for about 8 to 10 minutes, and when I brought that thing back, it just rained and thunder, lightning, the whole thing. And that was my only opportunity to get drone coverage, and thankfully I was able to do that. But it poured the whole entire day. When you're down walking around in this spot, you just kind of feel like you're in a whole nother part, and you definitely don't feel like you're in Turlock, California. That to me was like huge when I first approached this, and I was like, man, if I can get this and that, we're gonna be having a good time. I actually had to film everything with an umbrella in my hand. So the whole day I'm filming handheld. I don't have my Ronin, which is like the motorized gimbal. I don't have anything holding it but my hands. And I'm using one hand to hold the camera and one hand to hold the see-through umbrella over my head as I'm filming. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I was kind of nervous. I was nervous of being limited, and I was nervous of how I was going to turn a day like this into what I wanted it to be, through the video and through films. Every single wedding, I walk into a wedding and I have this feeling of like, how do I tell you who these people are through video, through emotions, really capture how they're feeling, how they think. You know, as a videographer, as a wedding filmmaker, it's my job to find a way to show you exactly what happened as it happened, and actually show you some of the things that you might have missed. Now, the first look in this video was not supposed to be where it was. The bride wanted to take a chance, and she wanted to do the first look right off the water, and we thought, that's going to be amazing. You know, I covered up everything with my umbrella, and we had Frank stand out there. Now, you know, in the film, I did a few shots on my own because I really wanted to portray how crazy this first look was, because it was so different for me. So I just had him walk out, and I did a few shots before she got out there, really showing that it was raining and showing the scenery of where we were, and I thought that that was so cool. And in my films, there's moments where I really want you to hear everything, and there's moments where I kind of want to play it in real time so you can feel like you're there, like I said before. So a lot of the things that I did in the beginning half of this video was adding a lot of sound effects that came from my actual recorders when I filmed it. There were things that I was hearing that I wanted you to hear as well. And I went through and I spent a lot of time, like I do with every one of my films, really just making you feel like you were there by adding sounds, adding wind, adding, the sounds of rain hitting an umbrella. Like, that was huge for me, because those are the things that I was hearing when I was filming with the umbrella above my head. I really wanted you to hear what they had to say to each other. So in this video, I added that as well. I put in a lot of the audio. I actually put a lapel microphone on Frank. So I put a mic on his vest.
I can't believe we're here.
We're here.
Rain or shine, like I said.
Rain or shine. Here we are.
Sometimes there's couples that really don't say much, and I don't use it. But then there's couples that really like forget that we're all there. And Kelsey and Frank forgot that we were standing there, even though you might think, there's cameras around and it's maybe awkward for some people to be in front of a camera like I am right now. But in those moments, you don't remember what's going on. You kind of just get lost in what's happening, and you got rain everywhere, thunder and lightning. You hear everything, and you're just in the moment. I really dig deep into the getting ready process itself, and I look for ways to make it super interesting, like creative. I look for angles. I look for reflections. I look for a way to make you remember all the things that you definitely are not going to remember without this video. And so that's huge for me. In this film, I decided it was very important to use audio from the ceremony, because there was a lot being said during the ceremony, and I wanted to overlay that in between all of the getting ready shots, right? So, in the beginning of the getting ready shots, I actually use Frank's part of the getting ready stuff. And, a lot of the times I go back and forth with, maybe I want to show the groom getting ready first. Maybe I want to show the bride. Maybe I don't want you to see the bride's face until the ceremony starts. Like, creatively, I get into these zones where I kind of figure out what I want. Like, how can I impress myself? That's really what I do when it comes to filming weddings, is how can I make me like something? Because after 7 years, I don't want anything to feel templated. So in this film, I really wanted to show Frank's version of getting ready first. And the reason for that is because during the day, I had learned that Frank's father had passed away, and I felt that he had a huge presence at this wedding. All the way down to, the brother of the groom. So Frank's brother actually officiated the wedding, and he brought it up, during the wedding.
And the absence of Frank's father, Roger, is certainly the most deeply felt.
During the reception, he was talked about during, how he impacted everybody at the wedding, whether it was the bride or groom, and also the family members or the friends of the family. To me, I was like, it was a no-brainer that he needed to be, a little bit more than just the dad of Frank, but also I wanted to hear more about him in this film while still showing the love that the couple had together, and showing the beauty of the location. And when I was getting the shots for Frank, he asked me to film his cufflinks. And it was the first time that I had ever heard of this happening. He has a family member apparently that was able to create this for him, and it's actually his father's thumbprint as his cufflink. And I thought, man, like, this is so different, it's so cool. And I've lost a sister to the same thing that he lost his father to, and I thought, you know what, like, I'm definitely going to make sure that his father has a presence in this film, as he did at the wedding. Now, after showing Frank getting ready, I jump back and forth between a little bit of voice, a little bit of ceremony, a little bit of romantics, and I kind of keep that theme where I'm going back and forth, and I'm showing them getting ready. So, my job as a wedding filmmaker is to show you what you missed, and allow you to remember the things that you didn't see. So one thing I really wanted to add was that Kelsey and Frank share the same passion and love that I do with a baseball team out of the Bay Area, and I won't say it because I want you guys to like me if you don't like them. But they love the same team that I do, and Kelsey actually implemented like some love for sports in her vows, and it was very funny, and the whole time that I was filming, I was laughing.
You've taught me to appreciate the little things in life, to fight for what I believe in, and most of all, that there is no halftime in baseball.
And so I knew that I really wanted to add some of those parts of the video where she's making Frank laugh and saying some of the things that make their relationship what it is. And with, there was a lot of moments that were like emotional for me with my whole sister and relating to how Frank felt with that whole situation. This was very uplifting, and I liked hearing it. I thought it was really funny and unique. But going into some of the B-roll stuff, which is the romantic stuff, which is the one-on-one footage that I get to kind of bring everything together. Well, what I had to do is I had to film everything with an umbrella. So right here, as you can see, Kelsey and Frank, this is around the time of their first look, and after the first look was done and they had their actual moment, I then went in and I got some footage of them kind of loving on each other, talking to one another still. So the idea was to bring you into the behind the scenes of this wedding film, and so that you can see kind of the things and hear some of the backstories. And I'm glad you guys watched this video, and I had a good time doing it. I think this is a really great experience, and I'd love to do it again. Make sure to check out the wedding film. It's right here on thismomentweddings.com. I'd love for you guys to check it out and get a feel of everything and see some of the things I was talking about, because there was a lot of emotional moments, and it was a lot of creative moments that I was able to take advantage of, and filming with an umbrella was different, and I've never had to do that before, and I haven't done it since. And so, yeah, hope you guys like it. My name is Doug of This Moment Weddings, and I will talk to you guys later.